we're back for episode 5. This week, it's Halloween week, and that's what we're going to base this week's episode off. First off, we have executive producer Ryan Martins here. He is the brains behind this show. He gets everything from our guests. He sets up camera times. He wrote out a contract, which I have to sign, he has to sign, and the guest has to sign every episode. There's some very fine print right at the bottom that is not able to be read. It's that small.
It's between you and me.
Yeah, we know what it says. But let's just, we'd like to thank Marty for all of his time and effort. Couldn't be done without you. And looking forward to, many more shows to come. So Marty, let's start with you. Best costume. What do you got?
Probably my best was my Andrew Kozak costume that I wore for a couple of years. I got all his Thrasher gear that he got when he went to some of the development camps, and kind of just did my best to be Koz. It's kind of a hard feat. If anybody knows Koz, he's one and only. So I tried my hardest, and hopefully I did pretty good.
I remember that. I think that was pretty good. Yeah. Move on. Favorite candy you've ever gotten on Halloween?
Seeing as I'm a big Willy Wonka fan, the Everlasting Gobstopper I think was my favorite. They last a long time, so it's way past Halloween. You can still enjoy the taste of an Everlasting Gobstopper.
You can save them and keep them under your bed and eat them at Christmas.
Yeah.
Your biggest fear?
My biggest fear would probably be Zach Jones, and that one I'll just keep between you and me. He's kind of intimidating.
He has rage blackouts sometimes. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, very scary guy.
Okay. That's going to do it for you and me. Thanks for joining us. We got Zach Jones. Just talk about we got 3 Halloween questions for you. The first one, what was the best costume you've ever worn?
Jeez. I don't know. Looking back on it, I did all the regular, Count Dracula, werewolf, all that type of stuff. I think it's one that I actually never wore. My brother wore it. It was a Chicago Bears costume, and I've always been jealous of it. But I think if there was any costume I could be, it would be that, but I've never worn it yet.
What was your favorite candy that you got trick-or-treating?
Without a doubt, but has definitely affected me later in life, is the Now and Later. And I don't know if anyone's heard, but this past year I went to the dentist, and I received 18 cavities. 18. And I spent 3 grueling weeks at the dentist, and it was awful. But it is Now and Later's, without a doubt. I love them, but they have killed me.
I can only imagine the weeks that were involved in that. And if you had to say, was it worth it at the time?
Absolutely.
I would think so. Okay, the last question. What is your biggest fear?
Wow. I have a lot of fears of things. It's, snakes and spiders and stuff, but I would have to say my mom. She has a wrath and an anger like you would not believe, and I'm scared of my mom. But I love her to death, but I'm scared of her.
Does she have rage blackouts?
I would not doubt it.
Must run in the family. Okay. We will thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
We're here with Matt Watkins. Thanks for joining us. A couple Halloween questions for you. Answer as truthfully as you can. Start with, what was your favorite costume growing up on the farm?
Well, I think my favorite costume, I can remember dressing up as Tim the Tool Man Taylor one year. Had the safety goggles and a tool belt with my hammer and stuff, and then I also dressed up as a vampire on a couple of occasions.
Those are pretty good costumes. Moving along, what was your favorite candy trick-or-treating?
One of my favorite candies was Skittles, because there's a story behind it. Our bus driver, I used to live on a farm, so I rode the bus to school about 45 minutes there and back a day, and 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes after school. And our bus driver's name was Leroy Unterreiner. And that's actually true. I don't think I could think of a name like that to make up. And he would always give us Skittles when he got on the bus when it was Halloween time. And so that's probably the most memorable candy I can remember getting.
Well, that was nice of Leroy. Must have kept you busy for the 45 minutes to and from.
We weren't allowed to eat on the bus, though, so we had to wait till we got to school to eat the candy.
I guess the thought was there,
Yeah.
I guess. Last question. What is your biggest fear?
I'd probably have to say identity theft would be my biggest fear. That's something that I definitely do not want to have happen to me. I think it would cause a lot of problems, calling the credit card company and all that stuff. That's just a pain, and seriously, as I worry about it, I don't worry about it daily. I don't lose sleep over it, but I think if that was to happen, that'd be a bad situation.
In this day and age, I think we could all be a little more aware of that type of thing.
It's not just a question and answer show, it's an educational show as well, and I think that's right. We can all be aware of identity theft.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Waddy, and we'll see you on the ice today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mario Lamoureux back again. Couple Halloween questions for you. I know you've been watching the other guys get interviewed. You know what they're going to be. Let's start with, what was your favorite costume growing up?
My favorite, I've been at a few times, is just a clown. Very, very regular and just a really scary clown that scares little kids.
Well, that's original, and why not? Okay. What's your favorite candy that you've got on Halloween?
Without a doubt, a whatchamacallit. I used to go to the local YMCA, and I tried to buy these strange candies, and I couldn't say it. And then I found out it was called a whatchamacallit, like a whatchamacallit. So I like whatchamacallits. They're chocolatey and delicious.
Well, I can't remember the last time I had one of those, but I bet you can. Last question. What's your biggest fear?
I'm fearless. I'm not scared of anything. Nothing at all. I'm not scared of. I have no fears.
Okay. Thank you for joining us again. We're joined with Jay, back from week 1. Your best Halloween costume that you've worn?
I got, one I wore and one that I saw. One time I stuck a bunch of Barbies to myself and called myself a chick magnet, which is not true at all. The second one I saw, I just thought it was pretty funny. Someone just wrapped themselves like a present, and I went up to them, I was like, what are you, a present? And they said they were God's gift to women. I thought that was pretty good too.
For the record, those were both Jay last year. Moving along, what is your favorite candy to get on Halloween?
It'd have to be Smarties, which are like M&Ms down here in the States, but way better when you stick all of them into your mouth. There's the wonderful amount of flavor combined. It's beautiful.
Did you get any cavities from doing that?
Yeah, I went nuts. We'd always use it, a big full bag of a pillowcase full every night.
Good God. All right. Well, that's all the time we have with you. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks, Brad.
We're here, last person to interview here today. We got Ryan Duncan. What's your favorite Halloween costume you've ever worn?
I think my favorite one is probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Michelangelo, I think it was in high school, but I think it was about a 5-year-old suit, so it almost fit me, but it was a little tight.
What is your favorite Halloween candy to get when you're trick-or-treating?
Twix.
No question?
No question. Just the little mini ones. Cookie Crunch. Doesn't get much better than that.
Did you know Jonesy doesn't even like Twix?
What?
Yeah.
I have to have a talk with him.
I told him to get it last night, and the vending machine ate his money. I guess that's karma. Last question. What is your biggest fear?
Oh. There's nothing that scares me more probably than Matt Watkins' beard. I don't know if anybody's seen the show The Simpsons. I'm sure they have. Homer Simpson, when he has a when he's freshly shaven, it's terrifying. Waddy gets like that sometimes and don't even recognize him, don't even want to be around him. And then you see him a couple hours later and he's got a full-grown beard. You can't imagine the stuff that's been growing in there. Yeah, you don't know if it's going to attack you. The guy is unbelievable at growing. He's a mature man, and like I said, the beard. Wow, scary.
Waddy shaves at 11 a.m. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow by noon.
It's ridiculous. Guy is pure definition of man. The epiphany.
He is. All right, well, thanks for joining us. That's all the time we got.